Hello there Facebook, it's Divya Mystery here coming at you with the Rent to Rent Monthly Cashflow Live episode 2, and today we are talking about the winning attitude of people who are successful in getting cash flow coming in. You see, there's a big difference that I've seen in people who get lots of cash flow and the way that you invest in your properties, the way you think about your properties, the way that you increase your cash flow and create a business where you don't have to worry on a day-to-day business. And the people who kind of don't quite make it, the people who kind of start and don't quite make it because they see it in a different way. They see it totally differently. And today we're going to be talking about that. So before we get going, there is a link in here on this live stream, somewhere below this video. There's a link, or maybe above it, I don't know. There's a link to join my monthly cash flow machine live, my monthly cash flow group, my Rent to Rent monthly cash flow group. So the link is bit.ly/monthly cash flow. Click on that link, go and join the Facebook group now. I'm going to be sharing so much more of this stuff in that Facebook group in the weeks and months to come. You're going to be getting all the really cool tactics, strategies, ways of working, ways of thinking, ways of leveraging your business, growing your business, and really bringing some more cash flow into your life, into your business. Okay, so go on, click on that now and go and join it. So let's get back to what we're talking about. What's the principle here? What am I talking about? I'm talking about this change in the way that you see your investments. I don't want to waffle too much about, what does that really mean? Well, it means investing. I'm talking about investing. You've got to have an investor's attitude. That's what the winning investors have, is an investor's attitude. That's why you're called an investor, a property investor or a stock market investor. But you've got to invest. If you have an asset producing income from you, like a property, whether it's rent to rent, whether it's you buy the property, whether you do a lease, it doesn't really matter. We're talking about rent to rent here, right? But this is the key difference in investing versus and being successful versus the people who don't, is this one mindset around rent to rent. Now look, this is totally different from how everybody else out there thinks and how everybody else out there does this. You see, most rent-to-rent trainers, most people doing rent-to-rent will be telling you to spend the least amount of money on each property and kind of, £1,000 or £2,000 here, £1,000 or £2,000 there. And this appeals to a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. It appeals to the masses because you don't have to put much money at all in. But I tell you what, our business model has totally change, and your business model will totally change when you change this attitude, when you change this way of seeing rent to rent, when you change the way you invest into rent to rent, and when you secure a business model that is much more profitable, has higher longevity, and enables the people you're doing deals with the landlord to see, wow, this is amazing. Why would I not give them my property? You see, it solidifies your relationships with the agents, and it brings you more deals, and it enables you to do loads more deals that other people can't. So what am I talking about here? I'm really talking about how you invest in the properties that you get on a rent-to-rent basis. You see, most people look at this and they go, well, I've got the property for 5 years or 3 years or 4 years, and they're looking at investing the smaller amount of money and getting the highest amount of return. But the most successful people in the world, in fact, there's a story, and Warren Buffett. If you know who Warren Buffett is one of the world's richest men. Right now, he's somewhere in I believe the top 10 richest men in the world. But he was the richest man in the world for a long time. And the way he did it is that he went out and he bought companies. That's how he did it. He bought companies, he invested in companies. But you would think, well, if he's the world's richest man, surely he has the world's highest return on investment, because it's all about return on investment. And don't get me wrong, it's about return on investment, right? You've got to get a return on investment. But what you don't see, what most people don't see, especially when they're starting out, and this is an attitude change that we've had in our business, and it makes our business way more stronger, have way more longevity, and it means that our tenants stay for longer, our landlords are happier, our agents are happier. It's a win-win for everybody involved. the attitude is not about getting the highest possible return we can all the time. Get your money back within 2 weeks. That may work for some people in the short term, but we're talking long term here. We're talking, how do we make at least £1,000 a month from every deal every month, month in, month out, from the start of the deal to the end of the deal? And how do we do so where we have the minimal number of voids and the maximum income coming in? Well, I'm going to tell you that in just a moment, okay? So you've got to change your attitude. The principle here is you've got to change the way you see things, change the way you think about things, okay? Now look, I'm going to be sharing more of this stuff in the group that I've set up. The link for the group is in the description, either above or below this video. Go there, join the group. It's completely free. I'm going to be sharing more of this stuff on a weekly basis with you a couple of times a week. So go and join the group right now. You're going to get in there, get to know people, and start to learn even more. There's another video already in there, some content in there that you can go and have a look at right now. So let's get back to what we're talking about. So how do you create this structure? How do you kind of become an investor? Well, what you do is you look at the property as an investment. You see, when we start looking at the property as an investment, what we're doing is saying, actually, this is not a short-term asset. We're thinking about the long term. And Warren Buffett's average rate of return over the years he's been investing is lower than most traders, most investors out there. And now look, it's not loads lower. It's not like a huge drop, but it's a bit lower. And the reason it's a bit lower is because he said this, right? Warren Buffett, the richest man in the world, said this. He goes, you're much better off focusing on getting a steady return than to try and make money really quickly and lots of it with a really high return, because with a high return is high volatility. With a steady return is steady volatility. So it means it's not going to go up and down like crazy. It means that you've got a steady return there, a steady income coming in. But that only comes when you invest up front. You've got to treat your asset, your rent-to-rent contract, when you sign it up for 5 or 6 years. Hey, look, when you sign it up for that duration of time, right, you've got to really see that you've got to invest in that. That's an investment. That's a contract. That's like owning that property for that period of time. Invest in it, right? And if for whatever reason the deal is like, it's an okay deal, I don't really want to invest more because the contract's shorter, we'll negotiate a longer contract. So let me tell you what we've been doing. So we went into a property recently that didn't really look like a deal. Okay, so it kind of looked okay, but it didn't really look like an amazing deal. We went in and rejigged the whole layout. We turned it into a 2-bathroom, 4-bedroom property to a 5-bathroom, all-ensuite property. Do you see what I said there? A 5-bathroom, all-ensuite from a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom property. Now the increase in the amount we're charging per bedroom and the fact that it's ensuite makes it much more rentable. Do you see that difference there in the way we think? We're like, actually, let's spend a bit more than anybody else spends on a rent-to-rent deal, which means our rent-to-rent becomes totally the most desirable property in the area. And by becoming the most desirable property, because they're all en suites, because they're designed really nicely, has better furniture than other people's properties, have better facilities than other people's properties, well, that just gets us to a place where we create a business that is unstoppable, that is not at risk from competition, that is rising above the rest, that is getting out to tenants who stay longer, who pay more, who love our properties more, the landlords love us more. And when we show the agents what we've done with the landlord's property, they're just like, this is a no-brainer. Why would I not give more properties to these people? They're investing in them, they're making them the best properties around, and the landlord's happy because we're renting it off them, guaranteeing the rent for 6 years. We're spending money on their property to make it higher value, and we're looking after everything. They don't have to think about it. They're doing what they're good at. We're doing what we're good at. So adding that value is the most important thing. It's a mindset change. When I started in property, I would do the cheapest deals ever. I tried to spend, £1,000 maximum on each property. But I had to work my butt off to rent them rooms out. Absolutely work my butt off to rent the rooms out. And whenever a room came empty, I don't know if you've ever had this before, a room comes empty and you're like, oh, not that room again. Really not, can't that tenant just stay a bit longer? Like, I just can't be dealing with that room because it's just small and nobody wants to rent it and it's difficult to rent. I've tried everything and it's just not the right room to rent out. It's hard to rent out. And I've had that before because I didn't spend any money on the properties. Now, every single room that we get it flies off the shelf. And in addition to that, our tenants stay longer. The landlords are happier, the tenants are happier, the agents are happier, we're happier. I mean, I don't do the viewings anymore, but our viewings person does less viewings, gets more rooms rented out, which increases our capacity to rent rooms out, to manage problems in the business. And, we rise above the rest. We become the experts. We are the experts in our market. We are doing properties better than anybody else in our area. And we get more inquiries, we rent our rooms out quicker, and everybody's happier. So I want to challenge you. I really want to challenge you. If you're doing rent-to-rent deals, I want to challenge you. Are you the best in the market? Are you thinking strategically? Are you changing your mindset from somebody who just wants to create return on investment to an investor mindset? An investor who's forward-thinking, who thinks not just about the return today, but the return tomorrow, next year, in the next 5 years, right? Are you forward-thinking? Are you the standard, I'll just kind of make do with this and rent it and just get some money in now? And look, if you're challenged in this because you're like, well, I don't have the money to do that, David, go and find the money. Go out there, find the money. Find someone who's got the money who can invest with you, who joint venture with you. Because if you're getting deals that cash flow at least £1,000 a month, which you should be getting, by the way, that's what you should be negotiating. That's what you should be finding. That's the value you should be adding to the property by finding these opportunities where you can make the property nicer than anything else, add en-suites, add bathrooms, revamp the kitchen. When you're finding them opportunities, when you're increasing the value of what you do, when you're making your business unstoppable in your marketplace, when you're owning that marketplace, money is really easy to find, right? But you got to raise your game. And that starts with raising your inner game, raising the way you see yourself, you see your business, see the competition, see the way your properties perform, and see it from the point of view of the potential tenant, right? When you look at it from the point of view of that tenant, you're challenging the status quo. Challenge it, really challenge it. Increase the value of what you're offering in any way, shape or form, right? Increase it and see the magic that can happen. In fact, I dare you to increase the value you're providing, and at the same time, as a result of the increase in the value, increase your rents, right? Do this now. If you've got property, if you've got rent to rents, if you own properties, if you own HMOs, go back to the properties you've got, change your mindset to an investor mindset, and go and spend some money on your property and increase the rent. I guarantee you, I guarantee you, your tenants are going to pay more, and I guarantee you they're going to love it even more and stay longer. Hey, look, go, if you want more of this stuff, if you want to learn how to really accelerate your rent-to-rent business, go and join the group. The link is in the description somewhere. And I look forward to seeing you on episode number 3, which is coming out at some point this week. So keep your eyes peeled for episode number 3 of the Rent-to-Rent Monthly Cash Flow Live. So take care, and I'll see you on the next episode.